Well, we're talking today. Well, right now we're talking to Peter Vogel, and Chazz Palminteri is going to be joining us a little bit soon or from now. We're talking today about Till Death Do Us Part You First. It's going to be making its off-Broadway debut. That we're recording this on October 27th. So if anyone's watching this much later, for the context, November 11th and 12th at the Triad Theater in New York. Then also a Westchester premiere coming up November 17th. So I'm going to start this way. Being that I'm in Western Wisconsin, a long ways away from New York, and any of our listeners who are going to be out around here, but I mean, they could be listening anywhere across the globe or wherever, but sell it to someone to go, okay, I want to go see this. To anyone who has not heard of this in particular, tell them why they should come out and check this out.
Come see a show about a man who was dumped by his girlfriend on Valentine's Day. Have you ever heard of any man being dumped by his girlfriend on Valentine's Day? No.
No.
It's
not often, and if it did happen, it sounds absolutely horrible.
One day I'm going to use this. So I've been doing one-man shows for a while. I'm the national touring star of a show called My Mother's Italian, My Father's Jewish, and I'm in therapy. And I believe I actually did it in Wisconsin about 2 years ago, pre-COVID. So I've been touring with that show for 10 years. And then about 3-4 years ago, I wrote my own show, Till Death Do Us Part You First. The title just came to me. I don't know why, because I go, wow, to life. How do I know if this is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with? People change. You know, the bits I put in my show is that a driver's license, gun license, hunting license, real estate license, all have to be renewed. A marriage license has no expiration. It has no expiration. And I do a whole bit in the show about, forget the marriage license, have a marriage lease like a car, 36 months, no money down. At the end, the couple has the option to renew. Or as I look at an audience member, I'll look at this woman and go, or look at your husband, upgrade to a newer model without the bald tires. And they always laugh. So the show is about all the true stories that I have talked about, my relationships. And Chazz discovered me, and he may bring it up when he comes online. He discovered me in Florida. Like, you know, Robert De Niro discovered him in 1989 doing A Bronx Tale, Serendipitous. And a friend of mine said to me, I have a buddy who wants to come to your show tonight. Can I get a comp? I go, who is he? It's not important. He didn't want to tell me who it was. Then I'd be flipping out. So it was Chazz. I happened to have a wonderful audience that night that's laughing, getting it all. And then he met me in the lobby and he goes, this is hysterical, man. It has a lot of potential. We could really take it to the next level. I go, we? He goes, yeah. I go, well, not knowing that I think he would take me up, but I happen to be looking for a director, not thinking he would actually do it. He says, I'll be your director. And the original voice of my conscience was Morgan Freeman. I had a guy that sounded exactly like Morgan Freeman. And then Chazz decided, you know what? Let me be the voice of your conscience. It'll be a show within a show. People will come to listen, coming to a show directed by me, but I'm also in the show as your voice of your conscience. So he says, it's never been done, a show within a show. And we tightened up things.
Hello.
There he is.
Hey, I'm here.
Chazz Palminteri joining us. Welcome to our interview.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
So I brought them up to speed, Chazz, about how you discovered me in Florida, and that we got to the point where you offered to direct, and I went on and I passed out. Then you woke me up and said, "Yes, it's not a dream. I'm going to direct your show." And then we discussed how you decided to be the voice of my conscience, and that is where we are right now.
Well, you know, I mean, I saw Peter's show, and just like he said, you know, Robert De Niro helped me many years ago and launched The Bronx Tale for me. So I really wanted to, I've done it through the years where I produced a couple of one-man shows that I saw that I really loved. You know, he helped me, and I always believe you got to pay it forward, you pass it on. And if I find somebody like Peter, who's very funny, so talented, I said, hey, man, you got to take this to the next level. You know, the great thing about his show, it just relates to so many people. I mean, relationships, whether you're married, divorced, single, you're getting divorced, you're getting married, it doesn't matter. It's just, it's a real funny show, man.
Well, what was fun about it is comparing notes with Chazz, because he's been married for 30 years to Gianna, and he would tell me things in marriage. I go, really? He goes, yeah, this happens. No. He goes, yes. I said, we got to put this in the show. It was just because I've lived a single life being a comedian on the road. And when people come to the show, you'll understand why I've been single. It's a crazy business. And I go into it, right, Chaz? It's a nutty business being a comedian traveling on the road. Telling a woman, you know, Chaz, I've told you, you're in a marriage and going, oh, I can't go to that friend's party of yours on Saturday night. I'm at Ho-Ho's Comedy Club in Lincoln, Nebraska. And, you know, it just doesn't work. And that's many of the things I talk about in the show of why a comedian who's looking for love has never committed to the woman of his dreams. And the girl that dumps me, Chaz helps me get her back. And he opens my eyes to why I'm single. He kind of like, he slaps me around verbally till I really figure it out. And that's the fun part. The audience loves hearing Chaz's voice of my conscience.
Yeah, it also has a great message too. It's not only funny, but if you can leave them with some sort of a message of, of learning about relationships, that, you know, it's like a relationship is like a garden. You know, if you don't water the garden, it dies. And Peter, in a very prolific ways, talks about things like that. Peter, you got to tell him some of the, you know, the people that the dating site. I mean, you have to, about the girl, full disclosure. I mean, come on, this is true.
Tell them, Chaz.
You say, you tell them.
The girl said to me, I have to be honest with you. They tell you things in the first date that you think, that's a little too much information. I mean, people Google each other just to find out. She goes, I want you to know I'm a person of interest in my husband's death, my ex-husband's death. I go, really? Go, but I had nothing to do with it. Oh, okay. Yeah, fell down the stairs, broke his neck. I had nothing to do with it. But you know how these things are. They always go to the spouse, right, Chad?
Right. I mean, but how could you say that to a person? I don't know. Anyway,
she wanted it. She wanted to let me know before I see it on Inside Hollywood. I don't know.
And Peter, all the women your age, when you meet each other about their illnesses.
Oh yeah. I told Chaz, I go, son of a gun, is this what I'm attracting in women? I've told you this many times. I went out with 5 women on a meet and greets, and I talk about it on the show. One girl, they immediately tell you right up front. One girl had autoimmune system disorder. 2 had fibromyalgia. Another had early osteoporosis. One woman said that she didn't know if she thought she had borderline personality disorder, but she actually had pre and post menopause at the same time.
Wow.
And I said, I wanted to take out an ad on the internet, wanted loving, nurturing woman whose blood work is in normal range. And I would say to them, why do you want to date someone? You got to take care of your health. And isn't it right, Chaz?
You can't make that stuff. I mean, you can't, if you want to make it up, come on. But, you know, life is stranger than fiction sometimes, really.
But when it comes like that, those are comedic gems, right, Chaz? You can't write that. I couldn't tell you that. I go, no. Everyone, I go, can I meet a woman that's healthy, that's ready for a relationship? I go, why are you meeting me if you have like your white blood cells are not working correctly? What do you want?
I was telling people like Peter is like the Brad Pitt of the elderly. You know, he could drive and he has hair.
I have hair. I could drive at night, and I have most of my faculties, basically.
Well, I mean, that's a plus. Okay. So with all of that, was there a situation that was so out there or so extreme that you could not use it in your?
No. This is a true story. The last girlfriend, and the Russian girl, it's written in the show. She started crying to me, this woman. You don't understand. My mother-in-law destroyed my first marriage. And I stroked her face and I said, baby, it's going to be all right. My mother's deceased. And her eyes lit up. She threw back her hair, gave me a kiss. I go, what was that for? You had me a dead mother. And to God.
Whoa.
I said, I go, really? Oh, you don't know how much that puts me at ease that your mother's dead. I said, I got to put this in the show. And that's what I do.
Well, tell them where you're going to be, Peter.
I'm going to be, I'm making with people within the sound of my voice in the New York tri-state area, I'm making my off-Broadway debut at the Triad Theater in New York City. Go to www.triadnyc.com. That's triadnyc.com. November 11th and 12th. There are 3 shows. If you use code 1250, that's code 1250, You get over 10% off the ticket price. And then November 17th, I'm going to be at the Bedford Playhouse with Gianna Palminteri, Chazz's wonderful wife, producing the evening. November 17th, if you want tickets to that, and tickets are going pretty well there, bedfordplayhouse.org. So triadnyc.com and bedfordplayhouse.org a week later, November 17th. And they can see all my dysfunctional relationships.
Well, okay, question for each of you. Chazz, what is your favorite, like your absolute most favorite part of Peter's show? And Peter, what is your favorite part of Chazz's involvement in the production?
You go, Chazz.
Chazz, you go first. Yeah, I'll just have you go.
First. All right, my favorite. Oh man, it's just. Well, I got to think about it. There's so many great parts in it, man. I think.
Oh, I know what you want. The girl. You laugh when the girl says to me when I have dinner. Remember, I had dinner, and she goes,
"Oh no, well, that's a joke. That's one joke." But I don't want to say. Should we say the joke? No. Well, my favorite part of it, I got to be honest. My favorite part of it is at the end, the very end when he wraps up his whole life, and he sees his tombstone. And he wraps up his life and he realizes that, you know what, you can't throw away love so easily because you never know when it's going to come back. I just love that part. I think that's my favorite part.
Because that woman is my soulmate, and I blew it.
Right.
And one of the things that Chazz always says that he liked and that we fine-tuned and why certain one-man shows don't work, it's a linear. There's a story throughout the show, and that's what I really liked about Chazz. We said we have a linear, just like in Bronx Tale. It has to be linear. It has to make sense. We're taking people on a journey. This is the hero's journey, right, Chazz?
Yeah.
Where I have to figure out. Chazz really, it's almost like a Greek mythology. Chazz takes me on the hero's journey, directing me, helping me, guiding me, and I keep screwing up, and he keeps, slapping me around a little bit, saying, "You got to get with the program, man. Don't you get it? Why you're single?" And it opens my eyes. And in real life, the same thing. He kind of guides me. But that is the fact that he was able to, we took out the fluff, we took out things that didn't make sense, and we streamlined the whole show. So it's from beginning to end, you'll be laughing, you'll be crying at certain points, and the audience seems to resonate because no one wants to die by themselves.
How has the show evolved over the last few years?
Like I said, I don't know where it would be if I didn't have Chazz directing me, because he knows one-man shows better than anyone. And he just fine-tuned it. It's tough to direct yourself in a one-man show. It's like being it's like a man who's been indicted and he's representing himself in the court. You have a fool for a client, and he, so you need that outside eyes. And Chazz knows, being that he wrote Bronx Tale, I feel the greatest one-man show franchise in entertainment history. When he talks, I listen. There's no. I say, okay, let's try that. You're right. And he showed me things that I was missing, and that was the best part of working with him. He fine-tuned it. So it's humming.
What is the trickiest thing? And the question for both of you, the trickiest thing that people would not suspect about doing a one-man show in this in this presentation?
What they wouldn't expect, that the fact that I can do 20 different characters and 20 different voices, and actually not only do the voices, but my body becomes each character, which is what Chazz does in his show. It's one thing doing voices, but to go between me talking to the character, I'm going back and forth between talking to myself. So I'm playing all the roles. The movie, my show could be a movie the way it was written, just like a Bronx Tale. So it's linear. And Chazz says, why certain one-man shows don't work is because there's no story. And that's what people should come to see. There's a story there. Correct, Chazz?
Right. Yeah. If the more you have no story, the funnier it better be. That's really how it goes. A story is the glue that holds them together, that keeps them wanting more and more and more, is they have to get invested into the character. They're invested in Peter. They want to see what happens with his life. And that's what makes it a great theater piece, where they're invested in him. So they want to see, how his life turned out. I think that's important.
So what would you want to do next you still got plenty more of this run in, but could you see yourself doing another one-man show at some point and create all of that? and maybe it's more of a question for Peter because we're talking about your show in particular, but what would it take to be involved with yet another one down the road, or is this onto another project after this?
No. This is very time consuming. It's very hard to create a commercial one-man show that everyone gets. And Chazz will tell you, it's very difficult. And I'd like to get this show traveling around the country, bring it to Wisconsin, if you know any theaters, and bring it to as many people across North America and parts of New Jersey, basically. So it's very time consuming. It's like giving birth to a child, nurturing, loving, tweaking, improving, getting it to where it should be, where it's humming, just like Chazz has with Bronx Tale.
Yeah, I mean, a Bronx Tale, I've been doing it now for 34 years. I've done 2 Broadway runs of it. And then now I'm doing a national tour. So I go, anybody wants to come and see my show, they can go to chazzpalminteri.net, my website, or my Instagram, Chazz Palminteri. And you can see where I'm doing my one-man show. And who knows? Maybe Pete will be doing the national tour soon, too.
Could there be a movie on the, like an actual, you mentioned this is essentially like a movie, but could there be like a Bronx Tale?
Anything's possible.
And Ben Stiller is probably the perfect age, too.
Yes, I'd like Ben Stiller to play me. Why should I play me? Let Ben Stiller play me. Yeah. Well, Ben Stiller, I'd let Ben Stiller play me. How's that, Chazz? Is that okay?
Well, I think you'd be crazy not to.
What, to give it to Ben Stiller?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Let him do the movie? Well, you never know. You never know what could happen to me, could happen to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Chazz, the saddest thing in life is wasted talent.
That's right.
So then do you end up doing the cameo role then to meet Ben Stiller as yourself in the movie? Is that where this ends up?
I'm lucky. If I actually got a cameo, Chazz is the director of the film would say, we're going a different way. Wait, you're saying I can't be a cameo on my own?
No, of course you can. You have a great part. You have a great co-starring part, Peter.
I got a great co-starring part watching Ben Stiller would be perfect. I'm kind of a Ben Stiller light.
Yes.
Yeah, get that on the IMDb credit, like your story, Peter, as someone else.
Peter Fogel as somebody else, as the guy who delivered the pizza. Yeah,
that guy role. All right, this is a great show, and I do hope you make it here. We got a beautiful theater here in downtown Eau Claire called Pablo Center, so hopefully you can bring it over here to the Upper Midwest. We'd love to see the show. I mean, you sold me on it, so hopefully you can. I don't know if I'll ever get out to New York anytime soon, but hopefully you can make it out here.
God bless.
Great show. Yeah, Peter Fogel and also Chazz Palminteri talking about Till Death Do Us Part, You First. November 11th and 12th, Triad Theater, New York. Also in Westchester coming up on the 17th and beyond. Thank you guys for taking a little bit of time to chat with us here, and all the best going